Oh man. This runs like shit too, you gotta be kidding me. It's not giving me the overloading warning, but it looks kind of like shit in the preview. When I tab out, same thing, it's not too bad, but as soon as I tab in, ugh. Gross. Is it? Is it really? Like, I mean, I move my head around really fast. Let me know if it's, like, stuttering or lagging or freezing or whatever. How does that look? Sorry if I made anyone motion sick. Because it looks kind of crap on the preview. Okay, nice and smooth. Well, we're leaving it on CPU encoding. We'll see if it... When I tried CPU encoding with this last time, it made Enigmas literally unplayable, so... We'll see how it goes later. It should be interesting. Okay. My tracker, I was kind of not living its best life right now. I knocked the camera over the other day, so it's all out of position now. Quite a bit more lateral cyclic when I take off. Hey, Summer. The funny thing is, now I'm noticing a slight chop in the game. I cannot win with this shit, seriously. What you doing? We're flying behind, looking to kill some tanks. So, just across the river by Zugdidi, there's a bunch of enemy positions. They're trying to cross the river. And we gotta figure out where they're trying to cross and knock them out before they get over. Apathetic Castle. I'm doing okay, however, DCS is doing its utmost to make me rage out at the moment. And 94 becomes yours legally. What's the first thing you do? Probably sell it and get rich. Frame issues, OBS issues. The problem is, like, with OBS set to NVENC encoding, even with a frame rate limiter set, and with VSync on, and with my NVIDIA control panel frame rate limiter set as well, DCS was trying to render like 180 frames a second or more, and so it was choking OBS. And then I switched to CPU encoding in the hopes that it would stop it from doing that, and it appears to, However, now it appears to be decreasing my in-game performance, so things look stuttery on my end. I literally cannot win with this fucking game, streaming it. Off-stream, it's great, but streaming DCS is like an exercise in fucking torture. I mean, it always has been, but it's been especially bad lately. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I thought I already was, but I guess not. In fact, before I forget, I might tab out and tell it to do that next time I launch it. Hopefully not crash in the process. There we go. Oh, oopsies, I done a fucky wucky. I done a bad fucky wucky. Okay, we're now lost. I have a vague idea where I am, but I forgot not to turn that switch on. So that's over. Achigvara is the artillery base. It's east of Achamchira. Yeah, we're in about the right spot. Fuck it, it's close enough. No, it's Dogs of War. It's like a continuation of Alpin's server that Mike Delta and some of the other guys are running. Enigma's was full earlier, so I hopped on here instead. And also, I really missed some of the missions from Alpin's, which are running on here, as well as some new ones. This is a new one, I think. On here, red, I don't know, could probably use like a Su-25 or something. Maybe a Mi-8 even, I don't know. Or a TAC Commander. TAC Commander probably is the big one, actually. But I don't know how much longer this mission runs for, or how long I'll be on here. I might swap servers in a bit. Yeah, I have constant issues where DCS and OBS like don't like the same settings, so there's always this back and forth that goes on. Move that north a bit. We're probably about there. Whoop. Don't want to zoom out too much. How was armor? It was okay. Still seeing some teleporting like I was before. Not as badly, I think, but still seeing it, so I don't know how I'm going to go on that new server. I wish I had the space or the resources for a 2PC stream, but I really don't. It would be the ideal way to do things for most, like, in most cases, and also because that means if the PC crashes, like, if my gaming PC crashes, I don't lose the stream. But, yeah, I just don't have the space, don't have the resources, don't have enough power points in this, like, in this flat, let alone in this room. Went on this right after armor, yeah. But we've been constantly restarting DCS because first I forgot to launch multi-thread, then we've had issues with OBS, so it's been a bit of a clusterfuck this morning, which I kind of should have expected. I didn't get a lot of sleep either, so I'm not operating at my best today, shall we say. OBS didn't like multi-thread because multi-thread was rendering so many fucking frames that it was fighting OBS for resources. However, it looked like it reset the frame rate limiter, And even after I fixed the frame rate limiter and restarted the game, it's just ignoring it now, so I don't fucking know, dude. 99 fucking problems, as usual. Try throwing DCS VR into the mix? Yeah. Well, hey, I got to experience DCS VR the other day, which was pretty cool, but it was especially cool because it wasn't my PC it was running on, so I didn't have to worry about any of that shit. Nice to see you got big gains. I mean, did I though? Did I really? Because I didn't notice. I wouldn't have noticed that there was any improvement if it wasn't for it fucking with OBS. Oh, that looks bad news. Something just exploded? Question mark? Okay, that's friendly anti-aircraft. Okay, there's something unpleasant around here. This is where, like, Petro's pretty good now, but having a human in the front seat is always better, because I wouldn't need to tell them where to look. They'd be constantly scanning for targets. Petro doesn't, as far as I'm aware. Pieveli Akvaga, I think, is the fucking town I just passed. I need to figure out where he's firing from. Where he got tanks across. Would have noticed smoother frames in a big mission? Not really. I haven't played in a big mission yet, which is one thing, and the other thing is, would I really have noticed? So, you know, with my monitor refresh rate being what it is, I'm only going to notice frame rate up to a point. And frame rate was very rarely an issue for me. It was everything else but frame rate. Hey there, buddy, what are you? I think that's one of ours. It looks BRDM-ish. But we'll... Yeah, it's a BRDM. He's driving the BRDM through a town that is now shown as blue. This is concerning. Maybe he'll spot whatever's captured it. Oh, it's... Okay, no, it's, I think that's Mayor Thrax. He changed his name. This is the town here. Gonna need some altitude here, but I'm gonna make myself vulnerable to do it. Ah! Fucking... What? As if we are. Did I not fucking load any? Fuck. Okay, we hit it. Did I forget to fucking rearm? I did, didn't I? Shit. Yep, I forgot to rearm. What a genius. Well, at least it seems to be mostly light vehicles they brought in. Technicals and shit, which I can gun. If I can find them without getting shot in the face. Yeah, so this is based on Alpenwolf's Cold War server, which used to be centered around combined arms. Like, the entire purpose of that server was pretty much combined arms fights. I'm so gonna get pilot sniped doing this. Infantry. The town that Blue just captured has infantry in it. They're by one of the rail bridges. There's a burning technical near them.
Copy.
I only have a gun at the moment. I forgot to rearm at the base, so I'm just going to strafe them and then head back and get some rockets.
Copy.
It's only small arms at least.
4 dudes with KA-74s.
Anything you see in that town at the moment is enemy, so if you're in the right town, make sure that you shoot them.
Copy.
The enemy vehicles are technicals with Dushkas on them, so they'll look kind of like they might be red units, but they're not. They're blue.
Roger that.
Okay. They're on the reverse slope of this, I think. Or no. There they are. Okay, we bagged a couple. I did remember, but barely. There's one. Don't know if there's any left. I don't think so. That should have been all of them. Although the town's still blue. So either he's hiding some more. Do I need to destroy the checkpoint, maybe? I mean, I would assume not. Yeah. I saw that, APOC, I saw that. Don't worry. He must still have infantry in there somewhere. I think I gunned all the ones that were around that vehicle, but it's still showing as blue. So there's got to be a unit hiding somewhere. I'm going back to rearm. Gunners? Not really. Because then you lose a rocket pod. I honestly, like, the gunners are fun if you've got a friend to multi-crew with, but I don't really see the point of taking them on the hind. What I would have preferred, instead of the Cord, I would have preferred a guy in, like, the flight engineer in the back compartment with the PKT. So he can just flex mount it between the windows, and then you don't lose any loadout because of it. Like, have him firing from the rear windows or something where he can just flex mount it and not have to worry about the barrel clearing rocket pods. Like, mounting a cord in one of these things is a recent thing. The Russians started doing it in, like, the 2000s. Same as the Mi-8. I would have preferred a PKT in either of them.
I think he can't talk about it here, yeah.
Buddy over there, that's probably APOC.
Roger, APOC. McCall was just at the Blue Auxiliary Farm saying that he couldn't pick up anything, so I guess CTLD's not working there.
Thinking maybe now trying CPU encoding. That's what we're on now because I had to swap over. Like, even trying to limit the frame rate so it wouldn't fight OBS, it was still doing it, so it's just like, fuck it, we'll go to CPU. Days ago. So we'll land up here. Yeah, I was down in Melbourne for a week, which is an awesome trip. I'm gonna have to go back soon. The airfares aren't too expensive. They're more expensive than I'd like, but it is affordable. I just need to kind of budget myself for it. The problem is because, like, if you fly from anything but a capital, like a state capital, well, you know, the ACT is a territory, not a state, and also it's a national capital, so you get price hikes from that. But like, if you don't fly from Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane or whatever, and you try and go to any other city in Australia domestically, it's going to be like 3 or 4 times as expensive. Which is annoying. Very annoying. But it's workable to Melbourne. If I wanted to fly from Canberra to Newcastle, it would be like twice as much as I paid to go to Melbourne. Even though it's probably not even half the distance. It's just fucking stupid. Canberra is nominally halfway between Sydney and Melbourne, but it's actually closer to Sydney. So actually, it might be about the same distance to Newey. But because Newcastle's it's not a capital city, and because Canberra is the capital city, you get fucked on both ends, price-wise. 3 greens. Do not VRS, do not VRS. Fucking visibility in this thing when you try and come in for a landing is so bad. And I am oh so wobbly and oh so rusty. Yeah, that would explain a few things. We forgot to rearm before. Good thing I only found a technical and some infantry, not an actual tank or Vulcan or something. Have I still got... Don't tell me I'm missing a fucking wing. I think it's there. Yeah, it's there, okay. I was gonna say, if they shot one of my wings off with 5.56, I'm gonna be very angry. What's the objective you're working on? We've got to clear this town here of blue infantry, which I think we got a convoy on the way to do, and then we want to clear out these towns. We've got to push across the river and get into their towns and capture them. So we've got to clear this and then bust through there. And there's a couple of river crossing points as well. Looks like we've got a river crossing established. I don't know if they do. We've got to knock out that bridge, which is probably a Su-25 job. There's another intact bridge I found somewhere as well. Are they actually rearming me? They're probably refueling me first, right? Also, I forgot to get them through the interphone, so yeah, that'd be why. Keep forgetting, you gotta do this now.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
No? Okay, well... we should be able to refuel and rearm here, apparently, so let me just do this. Otherwise I'll have to fly all the way back to base, which is going to be like another 5-10 minutes. Yep, okay. I appear not to be getting refueled or rearmed at the artillery base, so I'm going to have to RTB.
Says the same for you.
Yeah, looks like it. It's not even CTLD, like I just straight up can't rearm or refuel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Mi-8, it's a little easier because you can actually see what you're doing. You've also got a larger rotor. Like, the Heinz rotor disc is smaller. And yet, it's carrying a massive, massive helicopter. I think the Heinz empty weight is higher than the Mi-8. I could be wrong, though. Manual rearm and not predefined? Okay. Well, like, the thing is, though, they weren't even refueling me. So if they're not going to respond to refueling me, then they're not going to rearm me either. So I'll just RTB, I know it works back there. Did you pop the canopy? Yep, I tried the interphone, I popped the canopy, neither of them got a result, so we'll just head back. And while we're rearming, I need a quick break. And we'll get back to it. Nice thing about flying the Hind in this mission is that because I am doing ground attack and, you know, it's mostly combined arms stuff, it doesn't matter if the server doesn't have a lot of aircraft in it because there's not many players on. All you need is somebody doing combined arms stuff on the other side and you've got yourself a fun mission. The other thing we can do is once we get back to the FARP, I can reset my moving map because I fucked that up earlier in the flight. Yeah, the Hind feels very tippy, probably because it is. The Mi-8's broader fuselage gives you a bit wider of a wheelbase to work with, but the Hind is quite tall and narrow. So you got a relatively high CG, or what feels like a relatively high CG, and quite a narrow wheelbase. There's another Hind. Okay, there's probably the FARPs over there. Actually, it might be a bit further inland. Depends how accurately I reset that moving map. We'll know it when we see it. Huey's getting an engine model rework. Yeah, I saw Tim had a victory on that one. It's good though, the Huey's been out for quite a while, so it could definitely use some love. Well, you know why. It was because the fucking Colonel saw it. The Colonel saw the thread and was like, oh, this is wrong, it needs fixing. This is the problem with posting on the English forums, so much stuff never actually makes it to the people that need to see it. And I'm not gonna get too far into it because I don't want to put any noses out of joint any more than I already tend to, but that's a problem when part of the community can't really get things through to the devs that need to get through to the devs, but then, you know, Hoggett gets a wild hair up its asshole about something and just goes over everybody's head straight to Nick Gray. Which they like to do a lot, I've noticed. Hoggett pulls that fucking stunt all the time. They want something, they don't go to the community managers, they don't even go to the devs, they just go straight to Nick Gray because they know that he can, you know, issue a decree on it. So we want to be northeast of Ochamchira, which I think we just about are. Because that was Ochamchira behind us, so the FARP should be probably a little inland. In a tree line. Probably that one behind us? We didn't fly past it, surely. Where FARP? Monkey lost. Hey, Breeze. Yeah, and like, the thing is, if you want to know what's actually going on with DCS, you need to either, like, browse the Russian forums and just use Google Translate or something, or you need to actually speak Russian. Because if you only speak English, or you only stay on the English side of the forums, you're going to get things as filtered by the community managers, as filtered by various rumors, like that. There's just way too big of a disconnect, and quite often you'll see that, like, the English language CMs will say, oh, this isn't happening, and then Kate, like, a day later will say on the Russian forums, this is happening, but it never comes across the English side until months and months later. The fuck is this FARP? It's nestled in the tree line. North of Ochamchira. Oh, I think it was the next tree line. Next one back. It's pretty well tucked in. We'll just climb. We'll spot it from altitude. So we're over the power line right now. Which means that we are not far enough north. That's what that means. Internal comms and ED seem almost non-existent. It probably depends on, like, which part of the company. Because I'd hazard a guess that comms between all the people that previously worked at the Moscow office, you know, the Moscow office as a concept now, since I think everyone's doing remote work or whatever it was that got leaked to Reddit months ago. Like, they probably all talk to each other, and then the guys at the, you know, doing the English language community stuff probably talk to each other. But there's a disconnect happening between the different branches of ED, I think. And then also between them and the third-party devs. It's pretty messy. I think as well... See, I don't know how much of it's they're not given the info, and how much of it is they're given info, but they misinterpret it themselves, or they, like... You know, they sort of... They run it through their own filter, so to speak. Must be. Stream? No, stream should be up. Connection timed out. Fuck. Well, that solves that problem. I'm going to take a short break now. We'll see if the server's... Yeah, it's still up. So I will reconnect, but I'm going to take a short break, guys. Be right back.
Отказ систем. Смотри экран.
RIP streamer, thank you for the memories.
Wait, did I... Hang on. Did I mute myself before saying I was going to be... Oh my god, I'm all over the place today. Anyway, I'll be right back. Reconnecting to the server, it's all good. My connection just dropped out for like half a second, which is enough to kick you out of the server in DCS for some stupid reason. So yeah, back in a few minutes, guys, and we'll pick up where we left off. Hopefully this time we will arm our aircraft before we leave the farm. That would be a big plus. Update, it appears that the server actually is the one that ate shit, because I'm having trouble getting back in. So I'm going to grab myself a cup of tea and a quick snack, and then we might see if there's room in Ligmas. I'm kind of torn. I kind of want to do more Heim stuff. I'm kind of in the mood for that now, but also, it's been a while since I've flown in the F1. And I have to give credit where credit's due. With VR, the F1 cockpit is a bit less awful. It's still not great, but like you can kind of see what's going on outside. As opposed to on 2D, where it looks like, you know, it's awful. It's like you're in fucking jail. Oh no, I got back in. Okay, well, I'm gonna reslot back up in the Hind, and like I said, I'll grab some tea and a snack, and then we'll be back into it. And we'll hop over to Ligmas later on.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Отказала основная гидросистема. Отказал насос расходного бака. Отказал генератор.
And yes, I know you can't see the game scene. I'm just getting the startup happening while I wait for my tea. I can't be asked to switch back and forth. Deal with it. It's not like you're missing anything. You've seen me do this like 10 times already today.
Включаю оружие. I see you doing crazy shit over here, Thrax.
Okay, I have returned. And this time I remembered to get weapons, which is always helpful. We just retook that town that got captured before, which is good news. Let's make sure everything's on, lamps are on. It's just, the backlighting is not really visible in daylight, but that's okay. I don't know why I developed the habit of having the night lighting on even in broad daylight. I just like it. Excuse me. Okay, we want more of that. And we want to turn into the wind, probably. That might help us. So something that actually was pointed out to me as well, that it's not as much of an issue in DCS as it is in, for example, Misfizz, is that... not that much. Is that, in a real aircraft, because your eyes have a, a much larger field of view than your little toilet paper roll view of a monitor, there should be sound. Check you're not muted. Really?